Hi, Sophie. Welcome.
Lara, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, would you like to share with our audience what do you do? What do you do for parents?
For parents, well, I'm a sleep consultant and parent coach, and I help, in a nutshell, I guess that go. Yeah, I help parents connect with their children in order to help them sleep better. So, sleep is the main focus of my work, but heavily involved with the parent-child connection aspect, and yeah, it's very close to my heart.
And whereabouts are you based?
I'm in Australia on the Sunshine Coast. Yeah. So I we just moved from San Diego, been living in San Diego for 4 years and just come back to Australia. So it's nice to be back on home soil.
Oh, yes. And so, do you have you worked with parents in America as well?
America, all over the world, really, because most of my consults via Skype or phone. That it's nice to be able to help parents all over the world. So I've had clients pretty much everywhere you could think of.
Mm. And what brought you to doing this particular thing?
Well, I've got 4 kids myself, and so I'm not a stranger to sleep difficulties. If I can go back, the main catalyst was probably my second child, feeling almost broken from lack of sleep.
Mm.
And I actually ended up getting a sleep consultant myself and experiencing the change of, from having no sleep myself, and my baby not getting any sleep, to the transformation of actually getting more than like 1 or 2 hours sleep in a row overnight, and how much better it made me feel and my health improved. I thought, yeah, and being a parent myself and having so many friends with kids, you realize what a big part of parenting sleep is, or lack thereof. And most people everywhere as parents have, I don't think I know any parents who have just been able to sleep through the night, or don't have sleep problems with their children.
Mm.
So knowing that and knowing the transformation I went through, I just really wanted to help other parents that were in my situation going through a similar thing, to help them experience, some of the kind of, the joy I felt after getting sleep after not having it for so long. So that was kind of the main catalyst for wanting to start this journey, and that was 8 years ago now. So
Mm.
happened in that time.
Oh, amazing. And so, from your journey of 8 years, what is the biggest thing or the biggest problem that you found parents have had during that time?
I would say the emotional and physical toll that lack of sleep has on, I mean, on their whole life. It's not just about not getting the sleep that you want. It's about breakdown of marriages, because
Mm.
you're exhausted and stressed, and uh families that have been like physically unwell because they haven't had the sleep that they need.
Mm.
Breakdown of the family unit, breakdown of the parent-child connection, which is really common. And you think about, how much parenting takes from you, or how much it requires, even, and conscious parenting, especially when you're not getting sleep, rest at all, that adds, further challenges to
Mm.
that. So the actual lack of sleep on so many areas of and not just the mum, the father and the family unit itself. So
Mm.
um, I would say, families on the brink, parents on the brink of divorce, and um, parents just not enjoying parenting as well, which is really sad.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy, hey, because sleep is it's a basic need for all humans,
Yeah, yeah,
and sleep deprivation is actually a torture technique.
it is. Yeah, I can attest to that. That's right. It affects all parts of our emotional well-being. We're
Mm.
not not only does it affect us physically, I mean, we feel physically unwell. We don't have the emotional capacity to handle emotions, or even just life itself. We're always having stresses and things come up. But when we don't have sleep, our ability to handle even the simple tasks or stresses of daily life become really very, very challenging.
Mm. How can you what can you give our audience today who are listening, who may be in that space right now, where they are desperately seeking some answers for their sleep deprivation, and anything, or they're open to anything. What would you say to parents in this position now?
I would say you're definitely not alone. Yeah, I think it's just, I think one of the things about parenting, and so many things that we experience in our parenting journey, is the feeling that you are alone and that you either don't have the support to work through what you're experiencing, um, or that no one else is experiencing what you are, and you feel like you're the only one going through, whether it's sleep deprivation or challenging patterns with children. Definitely not alone, and there is help available, and whether or not it doesn't need to be in the form of a consultation, but I've got plenty of free resources, and we'll touch on that down the track. But it can be changed. It's just sometimes we don't know until sometimes we need the support, someone to say, hey, you're not alone, this is what we can do. I try not to, with any of my clients, I don't say this is the only way to do things, because I think once you start putting limits on the way that things have to be, you make it really difficult for anyone to be able to follow advice. I think every family is different, every parenting style is different, the relationship and the family dynamics are different, so everyone will need something slightly different,
Mm,
and there's always something that will work. And I think it's just about being open to trying different things,
mm,
and knowing that you don't have to do when people say sleep consulting, and a lot of people think, oh, it means we have to let the child cry it out, or we have to do behavioral techniques, and I'm not into that. And a lot of parents who choose the conscious parenting route aren't into that either. And so I can assure you there is another way that doesn't involve the cried out. And you can work on strengthening your relationship with your child whilst improving sleep. It doesn't have to be ruining your relationship. And I know that, yeah, the cried out thing makes me want to cry myself, hearing
mm,
all those sort of techniques that people use to help children sleep. I don't think they work that well. I mean, they can work, but probably for the wrong reasons.
mm,
And there always is a better way that I feel.
mm. And what do you think is the most important thing to keep front of mind when faced with challenging sleepless nights?
This too shall pass, right? I know it doesn't help always in the moment, but you're not going to have these problems when your child's 21. If you're co-sleeping and breast sleeping and up every 1 to 2 hours, it does, even though it feels like it's lasting forever, even it feels so big at the time. Like any transition, teething, it's just a time, it's just a space in time. And anything, no matter how difficult it might seem, can be improved. It's just you're making the time, the space, and being prepared enough to change it. I think that's probably the most difficult thing for parents, is feeling stuck, not knowing how to change it, but also not having the time and space either.
Mm,
I find that a lot of parents get sort of stuck or treading water with certain things. And some of the biggest things that I work with for parents is co-sleeping, breast sleeping. So a lot of young babies, even toddlers, who are sleeping with mum and dad and are breastfeeding every 1 to 2 hours overnight, even up to the age of 18 months, and it just becomes this habit. And whilst we know that an 18-month-old doesn't need to feed so often overnight, it's really difficult sometimes when you're still not getting the sleep that you need to be able to make the changes, and also not really knowing where to turn, because you do need the support, whether or not it is friends, family, or someone like myself as a sleep consultant, to guide them through strategies and steps, and to provide emotional support while they go throughout the process. Because like anything that's such an emotional like it is an emotional journey, I guess, working with
mm,
children to improve sleep patterns. It's very emotional for the parent and the child. And in order to make changes, I feel it's really important to have support on some level, while
mm.
you change. And so that again can add another whole lot of complexities, can't it, to families if they don't have that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what would be the first step, do you reckon, to going through this?
I think wanting to change. I think parents need to get to a point where they're not willing to, they can't do it anymore. Sometimes if you're on the fence and not quite sure if you want to or not, I think everyone gets to that point where, you know what, that's it. I've just got to make change. And no one can do it for you. So just, I think deciding to make change is probably the first step. And then reaching out for support, whether it's myself, whether it's somebody else. I think there's so many different people and methods out there that you've got to choose something that resonates with your parenting style and your beliefs and your values. I'm not saying I'm for everyone, but definitely having the strength to reach out and just get started, I think, would be my advice. And knowing that it doesn't have to be as hard as what we think it is. I know a lot of parents first come to me, they think it's going to be a huge process, it's going to take a really long time, but if you're committed to the change, it doesn't have to be long at all. Like children are really resilient. I think it's the parents or us that get in the way a lot of the time, so that's my job, to get you out of the way.
And you said that you had some free resources if parents were interested in finding out more.
Yeah, definitely. So I've got a webinar that's on my website. It's www.sleepplaylove.co. So there's a webinar there under sleep consulting, the sleep consulting page, and that's about a 45-minute webinar. Goes through my key sleep shifts. So that's a really good background to my approach and a few of the valuable things that I put in place when I start working with parents. So like just the environment, emotional well-being, good things to have up your sleeve as far as that's concerned. And then also I've got a blog. So I've written over the years many articles on a lot of different things, from newborns up to toddlers, toddlers resisting bedtime, and then catnapping, all the main sleep difficulties. So you can access there all on my website, and that's there's actually a blog section there. So
great.
Yeah, and the village on Facebook too.
The village.
Yeah. So Facebook, it's a group, and it's Sleep Play Love Village. So you guys can jump on and join that, and you can post sleep questions and everything, and that's a free to join. And I jump on, and we've got a great community there of other parents who either my clients, previous clients, or friends of clients who have jumped on there for sleep support, and everyone's really helpful. So that's an option as well for you.
Great, thank you. And if parents want to reach out and contact you directly, how can they do that?
They're probably just best to email me. So it's Sophie@sleepplaylove.co, and you can just request to have a chat, or we can book in a time. So that'd be great. Love to hear from you.
Cool, awesome. All right, well, thank you so much for your time, Sophie.
It was lovely to meet you.
Yeah, you too. You too.
Yes. Look forward to catching up soon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Cheers, Sophie.
Bye.
Bye. That was the lovely Sophie Acott, and her book, Sleep, Play, Love, I have just finished reading, and it is awesome. I've read quite a few books on sleep training, and this one has been a breath of fresh air, because it's not telling you exactly what you have to do. It's not saying you must do this, which is potentially setting you up for failure if it doesn't work. It's more like a guide, and it's got different ways that could work for you, because every child and every parent is different, and not every, as Sophie said before, not every technique is going to work for you. And so yeah, it's really great. I highly recommend checking it out, and I will put links to her resources in the description below. And if it looks like something that you are needing at the moment, feel free to reach out to Sophie.